Whenever we hear government shutdown, our minds usually jump straight to the politics, right? The cable news debates, the headlines. But what's the real story behind all that noise? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the 2025 shutdown and look at the actual human cost.
It all boils down to something incredibly basic, a paycheck. But for hundreds of thousands of federal workers, that financial lifeline has been completely severed. And just like that, a distant political fight becomes a deeply personal crisis.
So, what really happens when your salary just stops? I mean, really, think about it. Let's dive into the immediate day-to-day fallout of that. Now, this didn't just happen overnight. The financial squeeze started creeping in with smaller paychecks back in early October. But now we're at the cliff's edge. Full paychecks are set to stop completely, and people are scrambling. We're talking about federal employees being forced to find side jobs, driving for Lyft, selling whatever they can at local farmers markets. This isn't about politics for them anymore. This is about pure survival. Okay, this shutdown feels long, right? But just how long is it really? To get a sense of just how serious this is, we've got to put it in a bit of historical perspective. 19 days. That's almost 3 weeks that the government has been partially shut down. And with every single day that ticks by, you can just feel the pressure building and building on these workers and their families.
And to put that 19 days in context, well, we're already in the top 3 longest shutdowns in modern American history. We are breathing down the neck of that 21-day shutdown from the mid-90s, and honestly, we're on a path that could seriously challenge the all-time record of 35 days from 2018.
So how in the world did we get here? Let's get to the heart of the political fight that's causing all this chaos.
Turns out this entire shutdown hinges on a single issue: health insurance tax credits that are about to expire. These are basically subsidies that help millions of people afford their health insurance. So, with that expiration date getting closer and closer, it's become this incredibly powerful bargaining chip. You've got the president and Republicans on one side, Democrats on the other, both locked in a standoff over the exact same thing. And with absolutely no compromise in sight, the government is just stuck.
Okay, so missing a paycheck is one thing, a terrible thing, but now the anxiety is ratcheting up to a whole new level. The conversation is actually shifting from temporary furloughs and delayed pay to something way more permanent: layoffs. And this isn't a what-if scenario. The layoffs have already started. Over at the Department of Education, 466 employees have lost their jobs permanently. We're not talking about a temporary furlough where you expect to go back to work. These are careers that have just been ended.
And that ripple is spreading. At the Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD, more than 400 employees have already gotten their layoff notices.
And this might just be the beginning. The potential number of layoffs could hit a staggering 10,000 people. I mean, that would turn this temporary crisis into a long-term catastrophe for thousands and thousands of families.
But there has been some pushback. A federal judge out in San Francisco has stepped in and put a temporary stop to the layoffs, and they used some incredibly strong language to do it. The ruling called the administration's actions, and I'm quoting here, both illegal and in excess of authority and is arbitrary and capricious.
But, the story doesn't quite end there. The administration is arguing that the judge's order is actually pretty narrow, that it only protects union members who work in specific programs. So for most of the employees who got those layoff notices, their fate is still completely up in the air.
So, with paychecks gone, jobs on the line, and a legal fight brewing, where do we possibly go from here?
Well, this might be the most revealing fact of all. Since this whole shutdown started, the key congressional leaders who could actually end it haven't even met. Not once. Their last meeting was way back on September 29th. Right now, there are 0 active negotiations to find a way out of this.
And that leaves us with one final, really unsettling question. We've seen the devastating, immediate impact on federal workers. But with the government at a total standstill and no end in sight, how far are those ripple effects going to spread? The question isn't just about who's hurting now, it's about who's next.